Board Appreciation.
Want us to cater with that? Like gray meat.
The gray meat. But not. I don't remember anything.
You know, we don't need that at a board meeting.
Mic on, everybody, mic's on.
I have 5:45. We'll call the meeting to order. If everyone would please stand for a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recorder, would you call the roll?
Chair Laura Harrison. Vice Chair Jeremy Burnett.
Here.
Keith Acton. Deborah Thomas. Michelle Childs. Here. Superintendent Horrell.
Here.
We do have a quorum. You may notice, obviously, Chair Harrison is absent this evening, as is Commissioner Acton. So I'll be serving as chair this evening, and so I'll ask that everyone bear with me as I bumble through Robert's rules and Dr. Horrell keeps me on task. So with that said, Dr. Horrell, would you lead us through our agenda?
Certainly will. The first item on the agenda is the opportunity for public comment.
Have public, which is very exciting.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't usually have a public here.
That's
true.
right.
Not very many people here.
All right.
All right, the next item is our report section, starting with the legislative representative update.
The General Assembly is not in session at this time, so I have no report.
All right, the next item is the superintendent's report. I gave a very thorough report at the work session last week and don't really have a whole lot additionally to add. The schools continue to be busy. We have summer camps that have kicked off. I got to greet some of the students, or actually all of the students in kindergarten camp last week, and that's an exciting time for everybody. We have Chris Woods Construction continues to finish up some aspects of the high school project. We have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow with the contractor that's going to be working on the extension of Campus Drive and some other site improvements at the school. Certainly a number of HR things that are happening and getting data back over the course of the summer, but not too much to report other than that. We are going to take, I think, just a couple minutes. We have some very, very, very distinguished guests here with us tonight, and if it's okay with y'all, I'm talking like 5 minutes maybe. We may wait just a minute and see if anybody else shows up, just because it can go kind of quickly, and school board meetings can go kind of quickly. But I will go ahead and introduce the concept, if that's okay. We've got our high school, our very first high school athletes, and in one case a team that has made it to the state tournament. So this is a first for Lakeland Prep and first for our school system, and the board just wanted to make sure that we take an opportunity to say thank you and congratulations, but I'll probably come back to that. We'll see if anybody else shows up, and if they don't, we're thrilled with who's here right now representing those sports, so thank you. And we also have the April financial summary, which was there for the board to review at the last meeting, as well as the May financial summary. We're 1 month away from the end of the fiscal year, which ends June 30th, but everything's on track and looking as it should.
Are there any questions for Dr. Horrell on the summaries?
I do. Although you went over it last week, since we do actually have some soccer athletes, would you mind giving an update about what's to come with the soccer field?
Yes, we're currently under contract with a, I would quit saying contractor if I could actually remember the name right now of the contractor, but it'll probably come to me, that is going to widen the on-campus soccer field. I think, as most know, it was originally installed at 55 yards. This was an oversight, I think, collectively of the design team, that the TSSAA requires a soccer field to be 65 yards wide in order to be automatically eligible to host postseason play. You can actually host postseason play if there's an agreement between the two coaches, but we know there may be some coaches that aren't willing to agree upon that. So what we're going to do is widen the on-campus soccer field by 10 yards, so it will be 65 yards wide. That will also involve moving of the drainage structures there, and we're also looking at some other possible amenities that are not in the contract, including maybe some covered spaces over the benches on the opposite side of the field, and improving the seating areas as well. So we think drainage will improve. The field will be wider and be more in line with other fields that the team plays on, which I think will be an advantage and just give us some more options. So in the meeting tomorrow, the pre-construction meeting, we'll kind of talk through timelines of when that happens and what that looks like, and how long the team or teams will have to be off the field. And a lot of it has to do with the grass growing season, how quickly we can get those things done. But we are definitely looking forward to making those corrections.
Oh, and the pedestrian path.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I didn't even bring that up. Yeah, no,
because
you
our
guys.
Students may want to hear about that too.
Thank you.
They're annexed a lot as well.
Also included in the contract is a paved road for vehicular traffic that would connect the circle, the bus circle at Lakeland Prep with the annex. So there would be a way to drive from Lakeland Prep to the annex. And there will also be, as Ms. Childs mentioned, a pedestrian trail that would be, safely apart from the road, where students could walk from Lakeland Prep to the annex and back. Laws of physics does not allow us to shorten the path between the school and the annex, but it would be a more pleasant walk and a consistent and a safe walk. So you get those extra steps in going back and forth. But we're excited about all of those things,
And
for sure. And the additional parking.
At the annex,
Additional
yeah.
parking at the annex that would I believe I can safely say double the amount of parking that's at the annex, because those crowds are just too big, and people want to come see y'all play, and it creates a problem. So we need more parking. Welcome. Thank you.
Dr. Earl, that's Moss Carpenter Construction.
Thank
right?
you, Moss Carpenter Construction. I was afraid I was going to say it wrong. Thank you.
I would say I remembered, but I looked it up.
Thanks for having my back.
All right, any other questions for Dr. Earl on his report? All right, and then I guess what we'll do is, when you give me the nod, we'll suspend the meeting for a minute to do the announcements.
Sounds good. We're not going to give much more time.
Without objection from the board. All right, next item.
Next item is the approval of the agenda.
All right, we have, remind me what to do here. We're going to approve the entire agenda, right?
Yep.
All right, so on approval of the agenda, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda as
I'll move.
presented.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda is approved. Dr. Earl, next item.
Let's go ahead and do the recognition now. Is everybody comfortable with that?
Without objection, we'll suspend the rules for a minute and do recognition.
Okay, I know I hit on this before, but you all will get to hear it again. And we do acknowledge, we know as a school board and as the superintendent, what a busy time it is. We know there's lots of folks that are out of town, they're traveling, they have conflicting plans. But I know the conversation among the board was that this was too historic a year and too historic a series of seasons for our athletes in particular to let it go unnoted, the amazing accomplishments. And this is really for the record, for anybody watching at home, for anybody who hears this. We have representatives from several of our sports here, but there were a lot of questions when we opened Lakeland Prep about what would athletics look like, and what's that going to be like, and how are we going to have just ninth grade, and who are we going to compete with, and will we have enough students to compete, and will we have enough coaches to coach the teams, and will we be competitive, and can we win, and all these things. And in every single case with our high school athletes and our coaches and our teams, you simply, as the representatives, have just completely exceeded those expectations. You have been a testament to yourselves, to your families, to the school system. You have brought honor to the school system, and I know I speak for the board members, and they can speak for themselves as they would like. we could not be more proud of you. And the board wanted to start with just recognizing the particular athletes and the teams that qualified for state competition, qualified for state, which I can tell you as a former high school principal at 2 different schools and a vice principal at a 3rd school, it's a big deal anytime an individual or a team qualifies for state. It's not a given. It's not an automatic. It doesn't matter where you are or who you play or how long you've been doing it. Teams that qualify for state and individuals have to work extremely hard and put in the extra work and the time. And we are so proud of each of you here that earned that distinction. We can't thank you enough. So what I'd like to do is read through the names of everybody that falls in those categories. But before we do that, is there anything that would you guys like to make your comments afterwards? Or? Okay, well, let's do this. I'll go ahead and read them. First, I'm going to read the names of the members of the high school soccer team, the girls soccer team that qualified for the state tournament. And we all just forgive me if I don't get the names 100% right. They're all nodding. Okay, we have a deal. All right, you can correct me too if you want. Somebody who's constantly called Harrell, and I say my name Horrell, I understand. I feel your pain. Although one time, the best mispronunciation of my name ever when I was the principal. It's like story time here. I was the principal at Millington High School, and I went with the Knowledge Bowl team to watch the Knowledge Bowl team compete. And I was there with them, and Jim Jaggers, who hosts Knowledge Bowl, came up to me, and he said, "So you're the principal?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "So how do you say your name?" I said, It's Ted Horrell." He said, "Okay, Ted Horrell, not Harrell, Ted Horrell." I said, "That's right, Ted Horrell, Ted Horrell, Ted Horrell." He gets up, and they run the recording. And he goes through and he introduces the team, and he said, "And joining Millington High School is their principal, Head Torrell." So I hope I don't mispronounce your name that badly, but I might. It's happened to me. All right. So, and again, I know we just have a few reps here, but if you'll stand up when you get done, and you're going to come up here, and we're going to give you a certificate once you get up here. We have Kylie Belt. I know that Ava Brennan cannot be here. Her mom let me know. And Ava also qualified for the Class A All-State soccer team, so we're very proud of her in that regard as well. Purina Carrion, Kylie Davis, Lily Falcone. Come on up, Lily. Let's get this started. Madison Fleming. Is that one I called? Mm-hmm. That's who it is? Oh, sorry. Oh, got you. Oh, yeah, come on
We're
up.
going to do it again. Call her name again.
I'm going to.
She should be able to hear this.
Karina Carrion, is that right? Yes. Yay. You come on and come get it. Y'all just come get it right now. Let's just do it that way. Thank you. We're
We
so
didn't really
proud
tell
of
you
you.
what to
We're
do.
so
We
proud
just
of
wanted
y'all. Lily.
No,
No,
stay
stay
up.
up
Say,
there.
we're going to
Stay
take a
up there.
picture. Now
We're
you're
not done
together
with you
and
yet.
not by
Yeah.
yourself anymore.
Just
so
stay.
Emma Garris. Goddess. Aya Griffiths. Patty Beth Johnson. Liana Kennedy. Right. Oh, congratulations. Leslie LaRusso. Ella Luke Panya. Congratulations. Leslie Ramos. Ella Reynolds. Taylor Roman. Eden Roman. Claire Simpson. Brittany Wilson. Jay Fozzie. We are recognizing the coaches as well.
All right.
Surprised there.
And Coach of the Year.
And
right?
Coach of the Year, Daily Memphian. Soccer Coach of the Year, Maria Lozano. And these are the representatives of our first ever high school girls state qualifying team. So we're going to give you all a round of applause. And if y'all will stand just another minute, then we're probably going to do some pictures, okay? I'm going to go ahead and call out these other names. Is that okay? Is that all right? Y'all are just being lovely about this. Thank you. We had two of our students qualify for the high school state cross-country tournament, and that was Maui Bowles and Liam Jamal.
Siham.
I'm sorry?
Siham.
Siham, I'm so sorry, the
That's okay.
font is off. Siham Jamal. And we have with us Coach Stacy McGoldrick, if you will come up, please, and be
Yay.
recognized. Thank you. Matthew Grady, the other high school cross-country coach there. Maui Bowles also qualified as a high school state swim qualifier. And Kristen Bowles was the high school swim coach, and we're very proud there too. And then we had Zeke Schultz, who qualified as the high school state wrestling tournament qualifier. So at this point, if the board members would like to say anything to the students and coaches, I know they may.
I would. Thank you all so much for taking a risk on us, our very first year of ever having high school. And I want to note that when you go to the TSSAA website and you click on Lakeland Preparatory School Championship History, the one thing right now that pops up is girls soccer. So I can't say enough how absolutely impressive it was that a group of girls in 9th grade and some 8th graders played against 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders and made it to the championship season. So I hate that it ended up being a little late and some of the girls, are out of town right now and couldn't come. But I cannot wait to see your games in the future. And we're also so proud of the other individuals that qualified for state, because as a 9th grader, that's really amazing to qualify for cross country, wrestling, swim, track. I mean, I can't imagine with only 9th grade what we're going to have. We have 2 grades and 3 and 4 grades. So thank you for being the leaders of this school. And I know as we add grades, we'll end up having, fine arts, all-state, and, academic, national merit finalists. We just hadn't quite had that yet, but we appreciate all of you and all the talent that you've already provided at our school.
I know next to nothing about soccer, but I came to some games and I got completely enthralled in watching you guys play. And I was often up at the school and would see Mr. Fozzie, and the kind of the support and the excitement that you guys brought to our very first school and our very first try at this. And I'll echo what Michelle said. Thanks for taking a chance. Thanks for coming and teaching at Lakeland and giving your time to these girls. And I know you guys are working in the summer too to already get ready for next year. It's so exciting to watch you. And I even, got on the app and was watching you guys as you were in Chattanooga, just cheering you on from here. And I know a lot of people were who couldn't make the trip. So it's amazing. Keep going. Sky's the limit. Just thank you for being such lovely representatives of our school. And you all for being positive influences and giving so much of your time, because it's a big deal. You could just clock in and clock out, but you don't. And we really appreciate how selfless you are with your time. So
It's hard to say, but I'll do the same thing I said earlier. Everything's been said, but not said by everybody. The amount of time and effort and just spirit that you all put in to achieve this level. There were people in this community that said this couldn't be done, that our school system was too small, that our city was too small, that we would never be able at this level. Your coaches took this chance, you took this chance, your parents took this chance, you invested the time, and you proved that we can, that you can. Our job is just to get you a place to play and practice, the right coaches and teachers, which apparently we did. I'm very proud to say that. But you're the ones that made that happen. You're the ones that proved everyone else wrong, that we can and we will continue. With year one being like this, you set the bar so high that I expect this room to be completely full of athletes next year when we do this, including you all. Again, for what do we call it, a two-peat?
it's just a repeat now.
A repeat, yeah, okay. Someone schooled me on first annual and inaugural, so I'm trying to get those terms right too. So again, thank you. Thank you. We are all so proud of you, and I know your families.
Thank you, moms. We know what it takes to get them to and from, and make all those arrangements, to make all those different tournaments happen. So we're so proud of you all.
And we also have here Ms. Corey Martin, the principal, and Ms. Gina Decker, the vice principal, who played no small part in hiring everybody necessary to make this work and help with scheduling and everything else. And so what we're going to do now, board members and you guys, if y'all would come down, we're going to get a quick picture down here. Don't feel any pressure to stay. That is the most exciting thing.
That is definitely the most exciting part. You guys go get some dinner.
But I will say, we are going to talk about exam exemptions and grading if you want to hear about.
I think we're not.
Oh, never mind, never mind.
All right, so Dr. Hall, I'd like to call us back into the rules back in order, and let's move on to the next item.
Okay, next item is discussion item 1, discussion action on contract for Superintendent Dr. W. Edward Horrell III.
All right, is a motion to get this on the floor?
I'll move.
Second.
All right, items properly on the floor. Is it appropriate for Mr. Plumley, will you introduce or lead us through this, or is there anything that you need to speak to on this item?
And I need to speak to.
Okay, I know we all received a copy of this in advance. I believe that Chair Harrison worked with you on this to thoroughly vet it effectively. Nothing I know that we need to discuss from the floor unless there's any items that the board wants to bring up. For any discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving Dr. Horrell's contract as presented? Aye. Any opposed? Item passes.
Vote of confidence. I'll note that extends the contract 1 extra year to the full extension of 4 years, and I'm very grateful for the
sir.
support of the board. Thank you.
And I will say post hoc that I was very happy to do it. It is great that it shows our confidence in you that every year we make this an annual item to extend your contract.
All right, the next item of discussion is the consent agenda. We have 9 items on the consent agenda.
All right, is there anything any board member would like to remove from the consent agenda? On the floor first, right?
Yes.
So is there a motion to get the consent agenda on the floor?
I'll move.
Second.
All right, the item's properly on the floor now. Is there any item any board member would like to remove from the consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Item passes. Next item, Dr. Horrell.
Next item is we move into the regular discussion items. The first item is discussion action on update to policy 4.301, interscholastic athletics.
Motion to get this on the floor?
I'll move.
I'll second. Item's properly on the floor. Dr. Horrell, would you like to present this item?
Yes, this is largely the same updates that were discussed at the work session. We did discuss and was subsequently added in item 16, which is seek to avoid conflicts of interest and potential conflicts of interest in all areas, including the coaching of school athletes in non-school contexts, and openly disclose any such conflicts. I will immediately inform Lakeland schools if such a potential conflict arises.
Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item passes. Dr. Horrell, next item.
Next item is discussion action on update to policy 4.600 grading system.
Is there a motion to get this on the floor?
I'll move.
Second.
And Dr. Hurl, I would like to move, so the item's properly on the floor. I'd like to move to put this on the table until next month, just because it's such an important item. I think it would be appropriate for the entire board to be able to vote on this.
Objections from my end, certainly.
Agreed, I agree.
All right. So on that motion, I'd call the vote to move to table this until next month. Okay. Yes, ma'am, thank you. All in favor of tabling this till next month?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Item's tabled till next month. All right, next item.
Next item is discussion action on updates to LSS Facilities Use Agreement.
Motion to get this on the floor?
I'll move.
Second.
All right, item's properly on the floor. Dr. Hoare, would you like to present this?
Yes, we again have two versions of the Facilities Use Agreement. Version 1 has 3 group categories, which includes some nonprofit organizations, and then version 2 has 2 group categories. We did remove the language regarding facilities used by religious organizations from version 2, which is the 2 group categories at the request of the board.
So I think I'll lead with the discussion on this because I'm probably I'm probably the minority person on this. I advocated to leave 3 groups in specifically because that does provide for nonprofit groups, charitable groups, such as religious organizations, Boy Scout groups, et cetera, to still have access to the facilities. I think that is still an appropriate use for us, knowing that we've really only had that happen once or twice in the history. I would just hate to preclude it, because if we don't have it, then no one on the staff can say yes. They have to say no. Without it, then the answer is no. So I would still advocate for it to remain. Any other?
I just wonder if, for the same reasons, this is kind of a big decision, if we should table this one as well.
I'm okay with that as well.
Yeah, I think just as a reminder, technically, there would have to be 3 votes in favor of one or the other
Okay.
to make any sort of change at all. So if there's an appearance that there's not a consensus among the 3 present members, and then it would either fail and we would stick with the current facilities use agreement, which I don't think is what anybody wants. So it might be in order
Ms.
based on.
Thomas, are you making that a formal motion to
I
table?
would like to move that we also table this until the July meeting.
And without objection, I'll call the vote. All in favor of tabling until next month?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll table this item till next month. Dr. Hurl, do we have any other further business?
No further business before the board this evening.
All right. Other than announcements? So on announcements, I'd like to make one. I just want to publicly thank Shelby County Commissioner Mick Wright. He was instrumental in Lakeland Education Foundation receiving a $30,000 grant, grants that LEF then supports for our teachers in the schools. So Commissioner Wright, thank you. Thank you for your work to support our school system in numerous ways throughout the year, and just continuing having his support. Announcements? So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.